Audio
All right, you
check.
guys, it's 2, so I'm going to
Check, check.
transition us in. You ready?
Aaron,
Audio.
how's our sound?
All right.
All
All right. Well, as is tradition, quick audio check now that we're live. See if
Let's
Aaron
see.
can hear everyone. I've got a hunch she can't hear me.
Be-
Let's try this.
Burrowing.
BB Ron.
Yeah, try this out.
I think so.
Let me guess, tons
Something
of
like
feedback.
that.
A great number. I feel like she says that every time.
What does that mean? What does
We
gurgly
tried.
mean?
All right. Well, hey everybody, welcome back
welcome
to Wildwatch. This is our. Are we at 5 episodes?
Is it like
now?
that?
I think we're at 5 episodes. Okay. I'm a little gurgly. That's just rude.
Yeah, my pleasure.
No.
Thank you.
I guess so. Okay, well, we're gonna move on because I don't know how to fix that. I either mute myself or so deal with it. Anyway, so hi. So today, actually, we have Marco instead of Gavin. Marco's back. Thank you for coming back, Marco. Super excited to have you. So we're going to be doing Burrowing Owls today, Wildwatch Burrowing Owls. So this project is actually a project that we host. That's right. Marco, is that correct?
Good,
Yeah.
how are
These
you?
are actually our trail cameras that
You
we
see
use
us
in
every
Southern
day,
California
so.
to watch
Yeah.
burrowing owls and see what their habits are and if
That's
they're
true.
Very
That's
true.
doing super well.
Very
so
true.
we're just going to take a look at
Thanks.
some of these photos and Marco can kind of
It's
talk
magical
us
We're
through
all
what
the
they're seeing.
magic. All the magic.
Oh yeah, and I haven't even said hi to Brian and Kirsten yet. I'm just so used to them. How are you?
Aww.
It's a good time.
I know. But it doesn't get any less magical, okay? It's just such a wonderful time.
You
All the
know,
magic. Yeah, have you
I
guys
can't say
seen
that I
your
have yet.
sparkling
No,
faces
I
getting
growing
to
up in
eat
San
that pixie
Diego, I'm
juice?
actually
Just
pretty happy with the. I know we've been talking about
nice.
how cold it was early this morning, but I'm super appreciating
Anyway,
this
now
change
that's
in weather
over.
for us, even though I know it's difficult for many, but I kind of dig it.
Yeah, so I don't know about you guys, but I'm really tired of all this rain in San Diego. I have had enough.
No, I know, no, definitely. But one of my favorite times at the safari park or the San Diego Zoo is after a rain, especially the safari park. And all you native San Diegans or Southern Californians, you're gonna know what I mean. There's a certain smell in the earth,
Do you do
with
anything when
the
it's raining like this? Because you
chaparral and the
can't
dry
really, I
sage,
mean,
especially when it
California,
rains, and
like
it's
it's been
just
windy, it's been rainy, you can't
magnifico.
really
So
go for hikes,
I've
you
been
know?
enjoying the smells at the safari park, actually reading my book. I have parrots at home as well, and they really enjoy the rain. They go crazy and squawk all over the place. So it's kind of nice. Oh, totally. Yeah, I'll have to do that next time.
Yes.
Hmm. Yeah. Oh, I actually have a paired cam, so that overlooks our aviary
Sometime for
outside.
one
So
of
that's
these, we
that's
ought to
great.
have you take us to go see them.
Oh,
Already,
okay.
That would be
thank you.
really
Thank you.
fun. I want to
Thank you.
trying to
Thank
make
you.
all these like cams. Some of the other streamers have little cams for their pets, and so in the
And then
corner you
my
could
my
have
So
like
bottle
true.
has a burrowing
somebody's
owl. You guys see
dog
that?
or
So
one
I'm
of your
all
parrots.
burrowing
That would
owl
be so
right
much
now.
fun.
Oh man.
Love it.
Marco, you can't see it, but it's time to hydrate already.
Oh,
Oh
that
no.
that'd be difficult.
We wouldn't drink water if it weren't for you guys. Amazing. I feel like for one of these, maybe if we do a St. Patrick's Day stream, I feel like we should do like drinks that we don't enjoy.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm more for like maybe I'll just have the Coke and
I've
then I'll
been
just
trying to drink
eat
those
a
Ollie
healthy
Pops lately,
diet,
which are those
so I
like,
don't need all that probiotic
probiotic sodas that
additions,
you can drink.
to
And somebody
to
was
my
like, "Oh my
gut,
God, they're
apparently.
so good." Okay, well then we'll try this audio, Aaron, since it seems to not be working. See if that sounds a little bit better. So we'll keep going. All right, cool. Well, let's look at some owl photos. You want to?
Yeah.
Let's
Yes,
do
indeed.
it.
We totally need to show the whole like little U clip because they look very grumpy, very, I don't know.
Yes.
From the
That,
zoo, that was pretty
that
epic.
footage was
I
amazing.
will see if I can find that. That would be
The
hilarious.
biggest grumps.
Yeah,
Oh,
they that's one of my favorite things about burrowing owls is they just have so many expressions.
Oh, I know. I know.
Gotta just kind
I
of
love the comfortable one. Yeah, exactly, Brian. Yeah.
yeah.
The shoulders are up or the wings are up a little bit. They're a little fluffed out and
There it goes. Okay, awesome. It was not showing what I was seeing. There we go. That's better. Cool. Oh yeah, Aaron's got the link to the TikTok that we made.
Oh yeah,
That
there we go.
actually got reposted to the U TV show's Instagram story. They reposted that, but we missed it because it was on like a Saturday, so I don't have
oh.
proof of it. Um,
Hey, I tried to reach him, so if anyone has any ties to you people, let us know.
to you people, yeah.
You people,
You people.
you people.
All right, so this is my first time doing the Burrowing Owl stream, so you guys will have to kind of talk me through this. I mean, obviously he has seen the cam.
Clearly.
Yeah.
He's yes,
Is that a
definitely
green
spotted
band?
him.
I think so.
Looks like a green band. Yeah. Maybe an adult, I would kind of say, with the plumage. I know that was kind of a topic of discussion the last time we did this, identifying a juvenile versus an adult, whether they're banded, not banded, any particular behavior that we're seeing with it.
Yeah. Um, does that look like trash to you? Like, is that debris? What is that?
That looks like some trash. Yeah, I wouldn't call that natural foliage growing in that and burrowing owl habitat. I say it's a few things. One, depending if there's like a little divot, and maybe the wind pushed some debris. But honestly, sometimes with burrowing owls, especially the males, when they want to attract the females, they'll start bringing in things towards the entrance of the burrow. So it could be either wind pushing some debris into this area, which is unfortunate, or it's just him like bringing a bunch of stuff to his burrow, like trying to attract a female out there. Now, I don't know if I was a female burrowing owl, maybe that wouldn't be what I'd be finding quite palpable, but hey, whatever works, right?
Yeah, I would agree. We have our first animal noise. We knew this was coming. I just didn't know it'd be this
Yep.
early. But I also lowered the channel points price on this one, so that's on me. But Wolf Lover wants everybody to do an owl hooting, and I kind of want to take this a step forward because I want you to ID what kind of owl it is you're doing because there's so many different sounds.
Ooh,
Ooh.
I can do those. I can do a couple.
Okay,
I'm
go.
ready.
Yeah, if you steal the
Okay.
one that I know how to do, though, I'm gonna be a little upset.
Oh no. Okay, well maybe I'll do the more difficult one right now. Okay, so this is not perfect, but you guys, is this? Oh, by the way, is this the listeners gonna ID this, or you guys are gonna ID this owl?
Ooh, it could be fun for our viewers to see if they can ID what kind of owl it is. We've got like mostly mammal people, but I feel like they could figure it out.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I think
there
I
you go.
only know one owl, and it's the one that everyone knows.
Okay. Well, let me try this one. This one's a little different. Okay, it's like a. Anyone?
Ooh.
I can add something to it.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that helped. I know exactly what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
No, I have no idea.
I can give you hints, everyone, listeners. It's the most well-distributed owl in the world. It's a dark color. It's generally a lighter color. There's a heart-shaped face.
Oh, barn owl?
Oh, yeah, barn owl.
Barn
Well
owl.
done. Yeah. So a lot of times, they're nicknamed the screech owl for that screeching sound they give. But technically, a screech owl is about the size of a burrowing owl. So a little owl fact there.
Wow, learn something new
I
every day.
love
Alright.
the zooming in on the face.
Yeah, well,
It's like, what, Marco? What was that?
Lover was like, and still the owl watches. So I feel like we need to.
And
just
Aaron
be-
said barn owl. Well done, Aaron.
Nice.
Good job.
All right, who's
Oh.
next?
Who's next? I could try.
I really,
This one's
I
for
really
Marco.
don't
Let's see.
know different owl noises. I just know hoo hoo.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what owl is that? I just know.
I
it as
mean,
a
it would
different-
kind of depend on the owl. Some of them have different phrases that you can kind of distinguish. The one that you just did, I think it's probably like a Central American nocturnal owl with a really funky accent, is what I would say for that particular one. But
I'll
most,
take it.
yeah, right. And most people know like the great horn, right? And that's kind of a series of. So it's usually like that, hey, what's going on?
That was
Where
awesome.
are you? So sometimes.
That was
Thank
amazing,
you,
Marco.
thank you. And I was going to say, and some of them have different phrases. So there's a lot of owls that actually do a kind of sound, or an eagle owl has a very angry sound, when they get upset. One universal sound that a lot of owls do, regardless of size, is a bill snap. So basically, you guys say you're roaming around the tundra up in the north, right? And you see this big, beautiful owl and an owl nest. You start approaching. Then the owl basically puffs up, throws up its wings halfway like this, and starts clapping its bill, a bill snap. That is the ultimate warning for you. So it's almost like, say you're driving in traffic and someone cuts you off and you may express that with a hand gesture. It's kind of an owl version of saying, this is your final warning. So if you guys ever experience the bill snap of an owl, back away. Respect the owl space.
I hope I'm
Good to
not
know.
close enough to an owl to get that warning. All right, Brian, what do you got?
I don't know. Okay, ready, Marco? Let's give
Ready.
this a shot.
Let's do it. Ooh, nice, nice. I'm gonna say that's like a Siberian Amur fish eagle owl, is what I'm gonna say.
There we go. That's exactly what I was.
I knew it.
what
I knew it.
Yeah, that's what
Totally
I was
knew it. Taylor, what you got?
I want to. This one's native to Georgia, which is where I'm from. So I want to see
Oh.
if you know this
Oh.
one. It's
Oh man, I almost want to say a barred owl.
Yes.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it really?
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
It's
I'm so
they taught us that. I
impressed.
took an ecology class and we went out to like these like a pine farm.
Yeah.
And they had us go through and, we like went into a bat cave and we did all these studies on some of the local wildlife. And we went out to do an owl call in with some of the ecologists that were there. And they said that the way you call them in is you make like a who cooks for you all sound. And
Yeah.
we called some owls in the middle of the night. It was so sick. It was really cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's super
great.
neat.
Well done, you guys. Well done.
Proud of
All
us.
right.
Moving on.
Well, moving on from creepy, burrowing owl here.
The burrowing owl.
What is this?
Oh my gosh, look at the fluff ball.
Oh, again, baby owls are just the cutest, right? I'm seeing. How many do you guys see right now? I know I have a certain number in my head. What do you guys think? What are you seeing?
I feel like it's a trick question because I just want to say two.
I know,
But-
right?
Oh,
But
there's three. I see three.
yeah, right. Look at those little legs. Yeah.
They're the legs. Okay.
Little leggies.
Aaron, that little owl looks so defeated. Maybe he's just having a bad day.
He's very like,
And I would say you don't really see them sit that often in that regard. So I think it's a cool little picture to catch those little owlets, And that's another word too for listeners as well. You can call little owl babies owlets.
owlets. A moist owlet.
Oh, that would be a sad owlet.
Yeah, he does not want to be wet.
No.
Oh man, classic. I really should have worn my glasses for this stream today. Okay, so just one.
Oh, we
Yeah, I see one.
one.
Kind of like a juvenile, looks like a babyish.
Okay, we can go with that. No prey deliveries. When you guys did this last time, did you have any prey deliveries? Did you get to see some of that?
We saw one with a mouse in its beak, so
Mhm.
that was a prey
Yeah,
delivery.
I think
That's
just
pretty cool.
the one.
Yeah,
And then we did see a squirrel, which was really
that
Whoa.
was
cool.
cool.
I know, a squirrel.
Oh my gosh, look at that little face.
They
Look
look
at this
so,
grumper. He's like, get
Look
off
at
my
the-
lawn.
he looks so
You know,
mad.
I'll get a little scientific with you guys. Sometimes, owls, they look grumpy, right? But it's kind of their facial structure. So you like what looks like the eyebrows, it's called a supraorbital ridge. So it's kind of like a growth ridge in their face. So another good example would be like an eagle or peregrine falcon. They have the supraorbital ridge. It helps divert wind away from the face when they're doing a high dive, which wouldn't be for an owl's case, but also helps like as a sun glare, like you're wearing a ball cap, Brian, kind of the same idea. So it also kind of that with the supraorbital ridge and the giant eyes kind of gives them that kind of look, right?
That's so cool. Neat. Okay. I think we just see the one though, right? I wasn't sure if that's a rock. Yeah, that's a rock.
I think that's a rock, yeah.
It's not just a boulder. It's a rock.
So this one has two bands. Marco, what's the difference between some with one band or two bands?
Yeah, well, I mean, I can't speak for how they ban the conservation scientists who are doing work out. And so our sites are Hamul and out in Ramona. So, it's a collective team of researchers, biologists, field biologists, conservation scientists, and part of my crew, the bird department, at the safari park and the San Diego Zoo. I can tell you for us at the zoo and the safari park, I think we talked about this before, but But the metal bands that you see on our birds under our care at the safari park, as an example, we have a certain way of banding them. So the silver band that you see on this guy's on the left. For us at the safari park in the San Diego Zoo, we try to keep them at a certain way of banding. So we band the males on the right, and we make the joke it's because males always think they're right. It's kind of the way we remember it. And so we silver band the females on the left. A lot of times we add an additional color to tell between a flock or a pair or a group of birds. So in this case, burrowing owls are social, so there's a number of them. So I would imagine the color one is also a way to identify that particular individual from like at a distance. It'd be good from binos, right? So you can kind of see like, oh, that is a female green 23, and then they can document it that way.
Very cool.
Got it. Very cool. Oh, by the way, Kai, thank you so much for all the gifted subs. Always appreciate it.
Kai, so awesome.
Thanks, Hermano.
Okay.
That's a pretty shot.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. How many owls is that?
I think I saw 2.
Oh, happy.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, I think there's only
Just
2
this time?
I think
think-
so.
What is that?
I don't know. I thought a petal for a
Oh,
second.
it's a
then I saw.
flower.
Oh, it is. It looks like cucumber vine to me,
That's
but I
cute.
could be wrong.
You're
Very
probably
pretty.
right because there's vine around the tube.
Yeah, right?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
that's going to look so good later on when it keeps growing.
Look at that.
Ooh. Okay, really tough question, Marco. Are you guys ready?
Ready?
What are our favorite kind of birds?
Oh,
Big Semi.
I answered that last time. I don't want to go first, but I can. You guys, favorites?
Kirsten, who's that?
Aw, I just noticed that. That's not a bird.
This is Brody.
Hi, Brody.
He is
Hi,
He's
buddy.
my 3.5-year-old golden doodle, and he wanted to say hello, and now he's leaving.
Aw.
I love him.
Oh,
was
and
the-
on cue, here's mine.
Aw.
Can we see? Can we see?
Come here, buddy.
Yeah, puppy
Rushmore.
break.
Puppy break. Oh, Rushmore.
his
Never
name's
mind. He's just
Rushmore?
being a bum.
He's just being a bum.
So were we are answering your question? What our favorite bird is?
Yeah, favorite bird.
Oh, favorite bird.
Since I started working here, and my team probably knows this, I really love the wattled jacana.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I find them super fascinating. But I do love a barn owl. They are my favorite owls. So
That's a good one.
Mine it's kind of tied. I mean, bald eagles definitely probably the top, but also kind of tied are great gray owl and stellar sea eagle.
Ooh, those are
know.
good ones. Great
Yeah,
gray owl, is a
'cause-
cool owl.
Great gray owl's on my photo bucket list, so I'd hope to kind of travel and get a photo of them. And then stellars, yeah, super cool.
They're pretty stellar.
Pretty stellar.
Lame.
Emmy's favorite is salmon crested cockatoos.
Ooh,
ooh,
Beautiful.
that's a good one.
Mhm.
that's a pretty one.
Yeah.
Mhm. What about you, Taylor? What do you like?
I really love a shoebill.
Oh,
Good one.
They terrify
after
me.
my own heart.
They're
Oh, I
so
love
scary,
them.
but I love them.
Absolute
love-
dinosaur.
Love working with those guys at the park. They were
did you get to?
amazing.
You got to work with
yes,
them?
yeah. I worked with all 4 of them, and it was
Ooh,
great. You
how
guys,
cool.
awesome. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people who may be familiar with the shoebills at the safari park. We had 4 total in the past. 2 were visible for guests. It was a buddy and a female, and they were great. Awesome birds.
What is it like working with them? They're so huge.
Oh, it's almost like I've worked cassowaries before, and I only bring that up because to me they're, genetically they're not as far as in the past like you would think a cassowary. You think it's a super ancient bird species, but really they're not any older than like an ostrich and emu as an example. But they have this sort of like prehistoric feel. Shoebill's the same thing. Buddy, the male, he was maybe a little more territorial than the female, So approaching the male, you'd have to approach him in a certain way, but it's a big animal. They do their own version of a bill clap as well. So if you ever see video of a shoebill, generally a breeding behavior is they'll clap their bill, throw their head up, and then down, and then sway the head. So it's kind of a really neat looking animal for sure. So good choice, shoebill.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
We've actually had a few people message us this week about shoebills, It's every like
Uh,
couple
you know,
months they'll ask us again if we have them. So people do
Hmm.
they're a
like them.
big hit. Yeah. They're amazing. Unfortunately, we don't have them at the park any longer. But and the name did change. Originally, it was shoebill stork. Everyone thought the ancestry came from storks, but really it came from pelicans. And you can kind of see that with the beak structure, hence the name shoebill, right? Because almost like a Dutch shoe, but super unique animal.
Well, yeah, you want to talk about a terrifying animal? Pelicans.
Yeah.
Oh.
I am so scared of pelicans. Pelicans will eat anything. Haven't you seen those where they just put
Oh
stuff in their
yeah.
mouth just to see?
Pretty much. I mean, I always make the joke if I see like an Abyssinian ground hornbill the size of like a dinosaur, I'm gonna run the other way because that's a pretty awesome predator as well. No, no.
Yeah. Dinosaurs.
And
Telling you.
I was gonna say, you guys know my favorite. I mean, birds are all my favorite, but in case you don't know, mine is called the crested gata gata. There's actually a picture behind me. This one, let's see if I can point to it right there. Actually, a coworker of mine painted her. That's Phoenix. It's a gata gata I used to work with at the safari park years ago. But they are a falcon that acts like a vulture. So it's just an awesome bird for a lot of
That's
reasons.
so cool.
All
Oh, look at
right.
these
Back
guys.
to the burrowing
Back
gang.
to the birds.
Oh,
So many brevis. Oh my
lots
gosh.
of babies.
Love their expressions.
Look at that.
So, is it common for all the babies to be left behind and then like one adult stays and watches?
Generally, yeah. Usually that's the case. So if you have two adults, usually, sometimes things change, but usually the males are the ones going out grabbing things. A female tends to stick with the brood a lot longer, and then after they reach a certain point, like the point they are at now, leaving the nest site, the burrow, males and females can go back and forth. But in the beginning, when you maybe only see one owl coming out consistently, and you're going to notice a color variation. The females tend to be darker initially because they spend most of the time in the burrow with the chicks, and the male's lighter, being out in the sun more throughout the time, kind of lightens up his feathers a little bit.
Wow.
What would you consider like a large clutch for a burrowing owl? Like how many
Oh,
eggs do you think?
oof. I mean, I don't think it's like a definitive answer. It can
Yeah.
it can vary because they can brood or they can lay quite a few number of eggs. I mean, 7, 9 in a clutch. I
Oh
think that's
wow.
probably a big healthy number.
Ghost
Um,
birds.
oh, look at that eye. Oh no. I think it looks like there's a membrane in the eye called the nictitating membrane. So everyone out there who's listening, raptors, eagles, hawks, falcons, owls, merlins, kites, kestrels, secretary birds, ospreys, all of these birds, they have a second pair of eyelids. So if you see this owl looking at the camera right now, I'm guessing the nictitating membrane went over the eye because sometimes the camera traps when they pick up movement, there's a very, very faint whizzing or wiry sound that animals, especially with good hearing, can hear it. So I'm guessing the movement triggered the camera, made that very, very light, wiry sound. The owl turned right at that right moment, right? And so, but picture this owl predating on something. Let's say he grabbed a field mouse with his talons, and owls will generally lean down with their hook beak and hook the vertebrae to snap it or to, crush the prey to take care of it.
Oh,
And oftentimes they don't want to get a scratch in the cornea. So raptors have this it's a see-through eyelid that protects their eyes. So another good example would be like great whites. During Shark Week, if you guys are big fans of Shark Week, you see the great white coming out of the water, and you see this like clear eyelid. That's called the nictitating membrane. I believe someone told me cats have them too, but I'm not a cat guy, so I can't confirm nor deny that. But nictitating membrane, I think it's pretty cool.
that's so cool. I feel like a lot of reptiles have them too. Like,
I think so. I know crocodiles, I believe, but I'll have to double check that right now. I don't want all these people fact checking me right now. Marco, you were wrong. But I know
Yeah,
for sure the Raptors. So I can definitely contest to the Raptors.
yeah, I don't know what it's exactly called, but I know like crocodiles, alligators have that like whatever second eyelid to
Hmm.
go underwater and like
Yeah,
so they can see because they wouldn't normally just be able to open their eyes and just swim, and sit under
exactly.
there
Yeah.
with their eyes open. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, again, I'm not a reptile expert either, so I don't know.
And Aaron
And
said,
Aaron,
no sharks,
yeah,
please. He's probably having a heart attack back there behind the chat. Tawny,
Oh
welcome to the
no.
chat. Thanks for joining us.
And you guys, alligators and crocodiles do have a nictitating membrane, so that's really cool. So yes, right on, right on.
Small panic attack.
small
Yeah.
panic attack. Sorry, Aaron.
that's another ghost. Moving on.
Oh,
Ghost verb.
two little ghosts.
Ghost Burbies. Ooh.
Oh, lookout squad.
I know. It almost looks like a 70s rock album
It
cover,
kind
doesn't
of
it?
does.
Something about the lighting, the way they're looking. Too cool to really look at the camera. I'm pensive. I'm gonna look away.
Well, this one's got his eyes all the way open. He's kind of doing a
Hmm.
smolder. We got a little bit of
Hmm.
Oh
everything. Yeah,
yeah.
I dig.
Oh yeah, yeah.
This
Love it.
one's just being, just magnificent up here at the top, basking in his own glory.
Love it.
Very cool. And a couple hours later.
And it's nap time.
Blue steel.
Oh.
Yep, Aaron blue steel for sure.
Oh yeah, blue steel. I'm laughing that the parent is the one sleeping right now, while the babies are kind of up and about. Like, I've
Sometimes
had
parents
enough.
need a
Yeah,
break.
you guys just do your thing. Play with some beetles. I'm gonna nap. I'm good.
Let's see. Oh, nothing.
Oh, there's one
One.
owl in the middle.
Where? Oh, I didn't even see him.
Right, I know, right? They
Wow.
blend in so good.
Look at that.
I know,
Nice
right?
spot.
Well,
All about that camouflage plumage, right? It works really
yeah,
great.
no
Hmm.
kidding. I mean, I would be a really bad predator.
Maybe you identify with an herbivore, Taylor. Who knows?
That would check out, yeah.
Mm, mm.
Ooh,
Oh
burp.
yeah, look at
We
that.
got another ghost bird. Oh
Ghosty.
wait, chicken, Taylor.
Ghost
A
Chicken.
ghost
chicken.
chicken?
Yeah.
Remember? The ghost chicken.
Ghost chicken!
Ghost chicken. Burger.
Terrifying. Hated it.
Cute.
Mm-mm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Have you guys seen any of these other animals that are listed?
The squirrel.
The squirrel.
Yeah, I think only the squirrel. And
Oh,
granted, it's kind of funny because if you have that list, and if say if there was a bobcat, I wouldn't think the burrowing owls would be visible. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's too close
That's
up.
true.
So you wouldn't see those guys.
there's a
Oh,
squirrel.
Oh, squirrel.
there he is.
Two squirrels.
Two squirrels.
Hmm.
What's that about? Creepers?
I know, right? Well, it's a good reminder too for the listeners to know, like burrowing owls, they don't make their own burrows, so they're depending on different herbivores. So here in the West Coast in San Diego, we have our beautiful ground squirrels. In the Midwest with burrowing owls, it would be prairie dogs. I had this conversation with a guest at the safari park a little bit ago, talking about our burrowing owl conservation program. She was actually kind of complaining a little bit because she had ground squirrels in her property and they were going into her garden, and she wanted to ask me, how do I get rid of them? So I actually thought a good solution would be maybe fence in your garden area to protect them from the squirrels, but leave an area, natural area, a gathering of sticks or boulders or whatnot. Leave it for the ground squirrels. Everything is interconnected. So by helping out the ground squirrels, you're helping out the burrowing owls too. So we definitely want to throw that
Hmm.
conservation message
That's
out
good.
there.
Look at these little
Oh,
floofs.
I love it.
They're so floofy.
That's like kindergarten school picture right there.
I know. Look at them. How many? I think I see three. Is there another one maybe behind the grass next to the one in the back on the right? I think there's one right there too. I think like if you focus more on the visible one on the on the left hand
Oh
side, yeah,
yeah,
right
there is.
there,
Yep. Hmm.
right, and then right next to that guy, you can kind of see another little burrowing owl
Yeah, there you
facing us.
go.
You guys see that?
Hmm.
They're so good
Oh,
at
the top of the
camouflage.
head.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
right. You see that? A little bit of variation in the color, the darker head with a little lighter breast, right? And you guys see the dark. Actually, let me ask the guests this. You guys notice how they're darker up top and lighter in the bottom? A lot of times, like a red-tailed hawk, it's kind of the same thing, or a great horned owl. Does anyone want to guess why that is? Any idea? Why darker up top? Why lighter in the bottom? Hmm.
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 Mm.
Think about it. No?
Come on, chat. You guys got it.
Come on, chat group. Think about this. Let's say I'll give you a scenario. You're a red-tailed hawk. You're flying through the sky. Maybe a rabbit wants to look up and try to find you, but you have a lighter underneath, you know? Or
Hmm.
conversely, maybe you're a duck and you're flying and you're trying to spot that red tail, but it's below you with a darker top that might blend into the darker earth, right? So
Hmm.
it's kind of a way to blend in with that environment. So great white's the same thing. They're darker up top, so animals looking down, the great white can blend in a little better. If they're looking up, opposite, right? That lighter will blend in with that surrounding light of the surface of the water. Kind of the same thing with the owls here.
Yep, I think Tawny nailed it. She said to be less seen from the sky.
Good
Good
job.
All
guess.
right.
Well done.
And more shark references for Aaron.
Ah,
I did that just for her.
Couple of burbs
Oh yeah.
hanging out
hmm
amongst
I think I
the
see
poop.
some. Yeah, I know some poop. Maybe there's some castings in there too. I think I see some owl pellets maybe on the right, possibly. And also, you guys, I don't know if I know you guys know the team here, but for our listeners too, like owls will, especially during brood period when they have babies, they bring in dung from other animals in the entrance of the burrows to collect all those fun little insects that feed off of that dung, and then the burrowing owls get to eat that. So when I was taking care of some under the safari park at the time, I actually grabbed herbivore dung from our field herbivores out in the our big 90 plus acre field habitats, and we brought it over, and I got to break it up, and I leave some intact and put them in front of the burrow. So I got to play with poop. It was pretty great.
Living your childhood dream.
Loving it.
Mm,
Oh yeah, one, two, three. I
Three
think
birds?
right.
Yeah.
yeah.
They're preening. They're looking good.
Huh. Well,
Wow, that's pretty cool, Emmy. So Marco, Emmy was saying that she was going through pellets, and one time she found a whole mouse skull intact.
Oh yeah, I love doing that too. Yeah, right on. That's awesome. I nerd out about it all the time. Once I found a whole mouse skeleton. Once I found a rat tail. So it looks really cool. So if you guys are not familiar with it, owls, raptors, like eagles, hawks, what I was mentioning earlier, what happens is they ingest an animal and there's an area in their breast called the crop. Think of it like a deflated balloon of skin. So if an owl eats a mouse, let's say he swallows a mouse, it moves down into the crop. Depending the size of it, if it's large, the crop will actually get bigger. So if you see a raptor with a big lump on its chest, they just had a meal. The crop starts to pre-digest the food, moves it down into, for an owl, it's the gizzard. For other raptors, it's the stomach. So for the owl gizzard, it separates the meat. The good stuff stays inside of the owl. And in 20 to 24 hours later, the owl leans over and opens up his mouth, and out comes, it's kind of like a cat with a hairball, but not as as loud. Out
Hmm,
comes a little oval-shaped thing called the casting, and like our listener noted, you can find whole skeletons in there sometimes. So it's pretty rad.
that's wild.
Oh, look
we
at we
got
have a
some
feeding
more.
behavior going on. An adult feeding a baby. That's cool.
how can you tell that's what that is? What are you looking at that tells you?
Oh, so I'm looking at the body behavior. So one, look how small that youngster is on the right hand side, and by that I mean look at the downy feathers. Look how low that he is. It probably caught him with the wings tucked in, but I'm sure he was doing a little bit of a wing bag kind of behavior, right? And then the adult, fully flighted feathers, fully intact feathers on the flight wing, leaning over, right? So I'm thinking he's handing over something really yummy to that little baby right now.
Amazing.
Hmm.
Oh, so cool, Marco.
So,
It's
I love
awesome,
all
right?
your facts.
I got tons. I'm just holding it back. I don't
Keep
want to
them
hold
coming.
this show up, but I got tons of them. Oh, owls are just amazing, you guys. Brian mentioned the great gray owl. That is the tallest owl in North America. And Brian, that's on my list too. I've not seen a wild great gray owl. Look them up, guys, if you have a moment, and compare it to a great horned owl. All owls use camouflage. So whether it be our burrowing owls, when we continue with the shots, we'll get to a shot where it's daylight, and you can see how well they blend into their environment. Great horned owls. Everyone knows a great horned owl, right? So great horns from the north tend to be darker and larger. The colder weather, they need more body temperature to stay warm. They're darker generally. The ones here in San Diego are generally a bit smaller. It's a warmer climate. They don't have to be as big, and they're kind of lighter. Depending on the owls around the world, they can vary in many different shapes and sizes. All of us know the snow owl, right? That's a perfect example. There's a examples of that bird actually having a genetic lineage with great horned owls way back in the past, but these are now an
Hmm.
Arctic owl, right? So they blend to that environment. The barn owl, I want to throw that one out because it's a little different, right? Because that animal is white, but it has actually a lot of brown on the shoulder area and the back area. Some are lighter, some are darker than others. What's different about that compared to the other ones that I said is that the barn owl is strictly nocturnal owl. I said it in the last episode of owls that we talked about, but generally owls that are strictly nocturnal have very, very black eyes. Dark colors absorb light a little better. So, Christian, you were doing an owl sound earlier of a Central American mottled owl. Let's call it a mottled owl. That's a solid dark eye. So you notice that with different species, variations in the eye and color variations too.
So
So
interesting.
rad.
I know they're
Yes.
great, aren't they? I think they're amazing. Oh yeah, look, I think I see a little corner of an owl.
The
Maybe he was
yeah,
just
down the
gonna
left.
enter the burrow. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's great.
What animals are on this list, Taylor? I don't know if I can read them all. Or is it just like a bunch of?
Bobcat, coyote,
Oh,
cow, domestic cat, domestic dog, mouse, possum, raccoon, rabbit, raptor, raven, crow, rodent, skunk, snake, squirrel, weasel, human.
Yeah, there's a few of
ooh,
them.
interesting. Okay.
Yeah, right. Some of them are herbivores, some of them are predators, and of that whole list, I just want to point out to me the probably more impactful predator that we just saw on that list are the domestic cats. I just want to throw it out there. I love cats. I love domestic cats. So don't throw me some hate mail, but cats, give them their due. They are an amazing predator. These animals have been adapted for all over the world to hunt various prey items. Your domestic cat is a perfect example of those wild cat species. And domestic cats can kill a variety of local animals in your neighborhoods. So my philosophy is indoor cats are the best cats. You know, you're not dropping populations of wild bird species like a burrowing owl or maybe a cardinal. I used to live in the East Coast, and one town of Lowell, they were having this issue, and the population of those adorable little chipmunks had dropped down to almost non-existent because of domesticated cats. So I really would
Mm.
love it if everyone could just keep their cats indoors.
Emmy responded and she said that's definitely a part of why she keeps hers inside too.
Oh, thank you, friend. I super appreciate that. Thank you. Oh, look at that little baby owl. Oh,
Oh,
got a little action shot.
I love their legs. I just love
I
them.
yeah.
know, right?
Especially when they run around, they're just like,
They do so good, and especially with that kind of foot structure, because most owls are perching owls. Burrowing owls are great for walking on the ground. They have a funny little gait when they do it, but they're amazing.
Have First of all, is this a baby or an adult, Marco?
I would say a baby, and I'm going with that. Just sometimes in the darker shots, it almost is like a blend of gray. There's not a lot of contrast in color, right? You're not seeing a lot of the camouflage patterns you see in an adult.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I look at the tail. Look how short that tail is. To me, that's like a little baby tail to me. So I think he's kind of a juvenile at this point.
Have you seen those videos of when they take like a big owl, like a snowy owl or something like that, and they take the feathers around their like knees, quote unquote, and kind of push them all up, and how
Oh
long their
yeah,
legs actually are, but you can't see them because they're covered in feathers all the
I
time.
know. I
So
know.
funny.
We well, if we're sometimes when I presented owls, well, I'll present them on a glove. So if you're not familiar with raptor work, working with raptors, you have a glove. It's called a falconer's glove. It's a leather glove. It kind of goes up to, if it's a small raptor, it goes to here. If it's I'm holding an eagle on my arm, it'll probably go up to here. But these are tools we use for handling a predator like a raptor, right? So it's a very specific tool for raptors. Um, Oh, where was I going with this? Now I got sidetracked to look at the owl. What was I saying about this?
Something
What
something
was I talking about?
legs.
Yeah,
Oh,
talking
thank
about the
you. The
legs.
light. Oh,
Yeah.
thank you, thank you. Okay. So oftentimes when I've done presentations talking about that, I have a big eagle owl, and these are the largest owls in the world. And with ambassador, they're comfortable with me, so I can do this. I would actually put my finger in the feathers, and my finger would completely disappear because really, their owls are
Whoa.
big fluff balls, honestly. And think about a great horned owl, a big owl, right? I mean, everyone's seen a great horned owl. They don't weigh very much at all, maybe 3 pounds, and that's about it. So owls are actually big fluff balls with a big giant skull. And really long legs, also depending on the species. So a lot of that is fluff. Most owls have silent flight. If you're not familiar with it, I can go on forever about it, but I'll try to give you the shortest scenario. So most birds, when they fly, they're pushing a lot of wind. They're making a lot of sound. If a red-tailed diving at 120 miles per hour or a peregrine at 200 miles per hour, it's quite a bit of sound that they make when they're cutting through the air. Herbivore like a rabbit can hear that, run away. Owls have perfected this stealth hunting. So what happens on the edges of owls' flight feathers, the first, second, and third primary feathers, the first three on the edges of the wings, they're fringed or it looks like comb teeth. So let's use my hand as an example. So this is a standard wing. I flap, I propel a lot of wind, I fly faster, right? So owls' feathers are fringe at the end. So little fringes, little openings on the edges of their feathers. So when an owl flaps, they're not pushing as much wind as another raptor could do. So owls aren't necessarily as fast as other raptors, but it silences the flight. It's called microturbulence. So basically, when they're opening up that wing, that great horned owl basically is going to see a mouse from a few yards away open up that big, beautiful wingspan. It's a glide. Sometimes they'll flap, right? They'll push some air, but it's a quiet flight. So they'll surprise their prey with that silent flight technique. So they are awesome in that regard.
That's so cool. Ninja
That is
owl.
super cool.
Totally. The
Ninja
original
owls.
ninjas. I think
Yeah.
ninjas learn from the owls. They're just great stealth hunters.
That is cool. Lover, thanks for joining us. Good night. Thanks for hanging out. See you when? Next week? Next week.
Next week. Yeah.
See you, buddy. Oh,
The
look
way
at
this
that.
owl
It's
is.
sort of like that. I know. It's like that awkward teenage phase. Look, I probably, it's probably an adult, but something about the color to me, like maybe he's just coming into adulthood a little bit, the lighter breast area, but he has the patterns on the sides. So I'm gonna say like if it's a human, maybe like early 20s, maybe 19, 18.
The way he is, he just looks like he's got this big like bulb on the side of his head.
I
Yes.
know, I know. It's all just feathers, right?
Yeah.
Big poof of feathers.
What a goof. He looks banded to me. Moving on.
Hmm.
Ooh, what's this? Just the back of him? He's
Yeah,
just sitting.
he's about, yeah.
He's
Just
just sitting.
hanging out.
Just a little camera shy. That's
That's
all.
all. Yeah. Put himself on timeout.
That's okay. That's okay.
Poor buddy. More owl. Owl. Nope, nope. I was hoping to see something, like I was hoping to see a prey item or something. So I'm hoping we can get to one of
Oh,
those
yeah.
because that would. And I keep forgetting that there's 3 photos in every bit. Let me see.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh,
Oh,
good
it's a
to know.
sequence. Okay, so it's a burst. That's
Yeah,
cool.
I was
right.
gonna say I
Yeah.
missed
I
that last
keep
time
forgetting
too.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we were lucky the last time when we saw that mouse outside because usually they're not,
Yeah.
Mhm.
they're not usually eating outside of their burrows. The predators out there, they gotta bring them in, bring them into the little underground house.
I don't see anything except for this blinking light in the right.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Oh
all I
yeah,
see.
yeah. They probably just like flew right into the burrow,
Yeah.
I'm guessing. Here, there's the burrow during the day with the little guy outside. Look at that.
Let's see that again. Just hanging.
Yeah, and he's doing a little bit of preening too, right? I'm sure all of you guys out there comb your hair. I don't know, it's Twitch, so I don't know. Do you guys comb your hair when you do Twitch
Just
or not?
insult gamers really hard.
I'm just kidding. That was just a joke. But no, it's called a segue, everybody. So I'm sure you comb your hair. Birds, they don't have a comb, they don't have a brush, they have a hook beak, right? That's their comb. That's their tool for taking care of prey, right? It's used for a lot of different things. So they're preening, right? And it's made up of the same thing. I'm sure you guys know, but your hair, if everyone takes a moment, feel your hair, feel your fingernails right now. It's made up of the exact same thing as a feather called keratin. So you're very much like an owl. So, you comb your hair. Some people lose some follicles of hair when you're brushing your hair, right? Some more than others, but that's another conversation. But, owls, birds, they molt, they drop feathers, but they don't do it as often as other birds would do. One, because think about it, this is a predator. He needs to survive. He needs to fly and hunt to live, right? So if I was an owl and I molted all my feathers at once, like a parrot or maybe a duck might do, I may not survive. I won't be able to eat. So raptors tend to go through a molt throughout the year. So I kind of use like a red tail or owl, a great horn as an example. Most people know those birds, but let's say a red tail loses their first primary feather on the right side of their wing. In a couple days, they'll lose the same feather on the opposite wing, so they're more balanced for flight. So it kind of takes them longer to go through a molt, like the burrowing owls also. But just another awesome little feather fact about raptors. Oh, look at that. It's like he's doing a little
I
dance.
know.
Mm, 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 mm,
Yeah, I wish they had a theme song. That would be kind of cool.
mm. Oh, what would be a burrowing owl theme song?
Oh, good
Thinking about
one.
it, right? What would
Mhm.
that be? Man, I don't know why I wear my sunglasses at night, but I don't know if that really
I feel
fits.
like
That
I
kind of
could see
popped in
some
my head.
80s vibes. Yeah, I could see
I
that.
was getting
Yeah.
it, yeah, but it's not
So
really. Now I'm nerding out. Like, well, they're really crepuscular, nocturnal, but but I kind of like the song.
That's super
Oh,
cool.
like I'm counting two,
Yeah.
two burrowing owls.
Two. Can't see
Mm,
bands.
mm,
Moving
mm,
on.
mm, mm, mm,
Burp.
mm, mm.
He looks done
Oh,
with
Aw.
us. Oh my god.
Oh man,
I am
over it.
tired of a picture.
Poor little buddy. Oh, I love it. It's like the two that we have in base camp. They, when they first put them together or put them into the habitat together, they were so, I mean, just so many facial expressions and just so silly. Like the way that they look at each other and flit around and would like find a high up corner and just look down at you like, who do you think you are? What, like,
Mhm,
what, you think you're gonna
mhm.
come in here? I'll kill you. It's like, no, you won't.
Yeah, yeah. Owls are tough. I love owls. Yeah, awesome
So
predators.
tough. Ooh,
Oh,
Aw, I'm seeing two.
maybe three. What is this?
maybe
I
three.
know. I couldn't
Yeah.
tell if they were grabbing something or.
it almost looks like there's a third one kind of laying
Oh
down.
yeah, yeah. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Laying down.
We'll go with that.
The little foot to the brother or the sister is funny to me. Like, no, my corner.
Owls. No deliveries.
Aw.
Get a delivery, for goodness gracious.
Oh, Taylor's getting
I
anxious.
am.
She
I
wants
know,
to
right?
see something.
I'm gonna
She needs the action
I'm
shots.
gonna do a power hour here in a second if they don't start getting me.
Oh no,
Oh no.
Watch out.
Marco,
Ooh.
you're not ready for that.
I'm like, I don't know what that is, but I'm excited. Ooh, what's
If
going
we
on
don't
right
see
now?
something cool
Oh,
here in a second, that's what
one,
we're gonna
two,
do.
three, four.
Let's see. So I'm thinking, what, one adult and three chicks?
Yeah, that's what I would say. Yeah,
I'm basically you.
totally. I'm just gonna leave now and take this
Yeah, I
off.
don't think we need you anymore.
Bye.
Ooh.
Oh,
Okay, Marco, I know you're
Oh,
not a big plant guy, but like, are these,
no.
that looks like a giant mushroom, or are they just that
Yeah.
small?
Yeah, I remember bringing that up before the last time we did this, but yeah, there's a lot of cool fungi in San Diego County also, so that's awesome.
You don't,
Very unique organism too, I think, right?
yeah, well, you
Hmm.
don't think about fungi in desert environments because,
No, no,
yeah.
I know. That's what's great about it too. And I know very little about fungi, but one thing I really find interesting about them, you have the plant family, mammals, which includes us, and then you have like fungi. They're their own separate thing, and they are not a plant, not an animal, something like in between, but they are awesome species too. So everything's interconnected in that way, which is
Well, and
great.
Wow.
everybody's watching The Last of Us now, so it's kind of like, ooh, fungi, I'm gonna
Oh
get my
yeah.
brain taken over.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah.
that. Is that a show?
Marco.
Hmm.
Oh, sorry everyone. No hate mail. No. What is this? What's going on?
Marco doesn't know what The Last of Us is.
I mean, I know there are fungal species that will actually infect certain insects and almost cause them to be almost like a zombie-like state so they can actually grow spores
it's very
and
creepy.
reproduce. Is this like
Yeah.
your show you're referring
So
to?
that's what the premise. It was a video game first, and that's the premise of the show is that they were able to evolve enough where they were finally able to do that, but to people. And so the premise of the show is like fungi, but like zombies.
I'm
And
going to lean forward for this right now because there are many wildlife care specialists that have had this conversation about, always the hypotheticals. What if like a hornbill was like 10 feet tall? What if fungi stopped doing what they do to insects and started doing that to human beings? I know it
Mm.
sounds freaky, but it's interesting now they made it a thing, but it's amazing what fungi can do.
Yep.
well, it's also an interesting nod toward the way that climate change is changing some of the diseases that we've known, because that's kind of part of how it happened is that because the earth is getting warmer and warmer, these fungi are having to adapt to warmer and warmer climates. And so that's how they were able to handle the high body temperatures of humans to be able to do that to them, which is interesting because we have all these studies about the melting polar ice releasing all kinds of diseases that haven't been seen in millennia, and how things have been morphing, covid, all these different diseases that change so rapidly because of the climate change. So it's
Yeah, I know. It leaves it like to a larger conversation, I'm sure, but we can all appreciate the impact of climate change, I'm sure. I mean, right, not just speaking what you just spoke about, diseases, fungal spores from different times in history in our planet that we're not accustomed to or adapted to yet. So that's very, very interesting.
Interesting. Spoopy.
spoopy,
Mm,
heckin' spoopy. Yeah. Not.
No
Heckin' spoopy.
zombies. We don't want zombies.
No zombies.
Ooh, hold on. That's
Oh
like a
yeah.
glamour shot. I want to see that closer.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
That's a good one.
Ooh.
Oh, I
Here's
like
my
it. I
strut.
like it.
Do to do.
strutting my way on over to you.
Mm,
Cute. Awesome. I see a band.
hmm hmm
Look at that. That's blue steel for sure.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't. I don't know. I don't know if that's blue steel. Maybe.
Well, the last one. The last
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. Okay. Like I don't know about that one. So one adult and
That's just
yeah,
Grumperson.
Grump Nation.
Grumpers.
One adult, two kids.
Yeah, I think
Let's go
so.
with that. Sounds fun to me. Ooh, we got another
Oh.
attitude.
Mm,
Attitude.
got his eyes honed in on something. Oh, look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Slow that down a little bit. That's cool.
I know we said it the last time, but I don't want to reiterate certain facts, but you guys know the owls, right? They turn their head about 75% of the way around. So oftentimes people think this video made me think of it. They're not turning their head all the way around. So basically from here, they go all the way to the back to about 75% back the other way. So they can see all the way around. They just can't turn their head all the way around. That'd be too much like exorcist and pea soup.
Yeah,
That's a whole different that whole different
a
thing.
little much.
And it's our vertebrae. It's just vertebrae in our neck. So we have seven. Depending on the owl species, there's 14 bones in the neck. So it's an extra long neck that gives them that ability to do so. And it's because the eyes are so big, you guys, for an owl. So whether it be a burrowing owl, an eagle owl, the eyes are so large, they're locked in the skull. So we did this last time, but for those who didn't take part in this activity, without moving your heads, move your eyes to the right and the left, right? You do it all the time. You don't think about it. Humans have eye muscles in their eyes that we can move our eyes without moving our head. Owl's eyes are so large to absorb all that light and information that there's no room for eye muscle. So that's why an owl turns its head around so much. So if we had eyes like an owl, our eyes would be the size of softballs and weigh about 5 pounds, just to give you an
That's
idea how much
Whoa.
insane.
bigger the eyes are, right? Yeah.
That kind of makes my face hurt, the thought of
Yeah.
it.
But I'd
But
be able to see
luckily,
so
I
much without
know.
glasses.
Oh, you wouldn't even
That
need
world.
glasses. But granted, you also wouldn't see a lot of color. So I'm not a scientist, but what I understand it is in our eyes we have rods and cones. Rods absorb light, cones absorb color. We as a human being, mammal, we have a fairly equal amount of both. So I can see pretty good in the dark, and I can see Brian's wearing kind of a turquoise with a pink flamingo in there, right? Owls have many more rods and cones, so they theoretically are absorbing so much light, much more than us. They can see 100 times better than we can at night. They can see better than an African lion, by the way. They're amazing nighttime
That's wild.
seers, right?
So cool.
But because so many rods, less cones, it's pretty safe to say that they don't see any variety of color, like raptors anyway, like we do. So it's more of a grayish kind of hue is our hypotheses with owls. But that's not true for all birds, by the way. I'm just talking about for owls in particular and raptors.
How do they theorize that? Like you hear, dogs talk only see in black and white, that sort of thing. So how do they
Yeah.
know?
Well, I mean, from the little that I understood of the study for the owls was just owls that have passed on and doing some studies with their physical eyes and seeing the amount of rods, the cones. It's almost like I wish I got the medical terms for you guys. I'm sorry. I'm more of an animal trainer than a scientist, but it's almost like a tapered eye. So you have the what we see in the front, the oval shaped, right? And then inside of the eyeball, it kind of tapers like this. So basically, there's another lens inside. So this is the front of the eye. This is the tapered, the end of the eye. Light is coming in, being hit by the front of the eye that we see. It gets filtered into this funnel, and there's another lens that's refracting light back and forth. And cats, I think, do a version of this, so it'll refract eye or the light that he can pick up. And so by looking at that and not having as many cone receptors like we would do, we compare it to other species like mammals and birds, or dogs as an example. So that's the little bit I know of that study that they did with their eyes, but it's pretty awesome. And it's not every raptor. Everyone's a little bit different. Has anyone, you listeners out there, have you guys ever seen a bird, a raptor, looks like a hawk or a falcon, white with black on the shoulder area and hovers over a field? Has anyone ever seen that in San Diego before? It just hovers in one spot. It's called a kite or a white-tailed or black-shouldered kite.
Hmm.
They changed the name a couple times, but those birds see semi-ultraviolet light. they are looking for field mice during the day. So they hover over a field. If you guys Google it, you'll see what I'm talking about. They look down, and mice tend to mark their trails with urine. That's their territory. If you guys know what a black light is, a black light, certain colors reflect yellow, right, or a luminescent kind of color. So kites seeing semi-ultraviolet light are actually looking for mouse urine, and for them it'll be glowing this like yellow color. So it's an indicator. Oh, that's a mouse trail. I'm going to hover. I'm going to wait for that mouse to show up and grab it that way. Different birds see in different ways as well. There's color spectrums. You guys, there is a world for birds out there that we cannot see with our eyes. For instance, hummingbirds, they see a variety of different colors in flowers that we cannot see. So I nerd out when I think about the worlds behind the worlds behind the worlds. We see one reality as a human being. Birds have just a slew of so many other realities that we're not privy to, which is just awesome to me. That
Cool.
we don't know everything about Mother Nature, and we're constantly learning things. So
I don't
anyway.
know if I already plugged this to you, but I've been slowly working my way through this book called An Immense World. And
Mm,
that's what it talks about. It breaks down all the senses, right? It breaks down what we have five senses, and then it also talks about the sixth ones that we don't really have, like electromagnetic senses. And so like
right.
the
Yeah.
first chapter was all about dogs, or the first section of the book was all about dogs, and like trying to explain senses that we don't have in a way that you can understand, which is such a complicated topic. Like when you talk about an animal smells 100 times better than a person, okay, but like what does that mean? Because you and I will never experience what that feels like.
Mm.
No, I know. I think about that all the time, especially when I walk my dog. Let's use dogs as an example, right? I mean, I think about that all the time, Taylor, when I walk my dogs. The reality of what they see. So us as human beings, those of us who rely on eyesight more than other senses as human beings, our world is perceived in a visual way. So when you're walking around, think about it, you guys. Even right now, looking at a computer screen, we're processing this information in a certain way. I can't even begin to fathom dogs' reality is based on their sense of smell, not sight. So you can imagine the world that they smell that we don't experience. And I remind myself, because I'm guilty of it all the time when I'm walking my dog, I'm like, I got to get back to the house. I got 10 minutes. I got to make dinner. And they want to sniff something and you want to pull, no, let's go, let's go. But then I remind myself, like, no, no, no. This is their way of communicating to the world. So basically, give your dog that extra second to communicate and explore the world that they want to explore, right? So yeah, I'm with you,
It's
Taylor.
Mm.
really
Awesome. It's
cool. Yeah.
crazy.
It's
Hmm.
so crazy to think about, especially like when you think about like platypus or some of these species that they can literally feel
Yes.
electromagnetic, impulse,
Impulse. Yep.
and
Yep.
like being able to be underwater and you would just know that something is here and about the size and the shape and could guess what it is with your eyes closed. It's just wild.
I know. It's amazing, right? And I'm sure that's why all these superhero characters are so
Oh,
popular, right?
Daredevil.
Oh.
Aaron just said platypi pics, please. Aaron.
Oh.
Triggered.
Oh no. Platypuses, but that's all right.
That's a whole story we'll tell you later, Marco.
Okay. Can't wait to hear it. Can't wait to hear it.
Oh man, well we're kind of getting to the end of our time here today, but Marco, thank you so much for joining us, for being part of this, for teaching us about these awesome animals. It's so much fun to
My
have you
pleasure.
on, and I hear that you might be doing something pretty cool sometime this month.
I am. Yeah, a couple things are happening. I mean, I can promote some couple things exciting. Tomorrow, by the way, it's Toss to Tusk. It's World Wildlife Day tomorrow, you guys. So if you're near San Diego and you have some ivory in your possession or a wildlife trafficking item, come to the safari park, Toss to Tusk with AZA, with our U.S. Department of Fish and Wildlife. It's an opportunity, let's say a family heirloom, maybe a napkin holder that was made of ivory or a piece of art or an instrument. This is an opportunity to turn in those items of illegally trafficked material where these poor elephants were slaughtered just for a tooth being taken from human culture belief that ivory is so important when it's just teeth, it's just dentition. But anyway, it's a great opportunity to get involved and send a message to those poachers that that is not what we want anymore in our world, right? The other super exciting thing that I'm super stoked about, are we talking podcast is what
I
we're
feel like we
talking
should,
about?
yeah.
Hey.
Ah, good. Okay. I was trying to figure out like what's the best way to code podcast. No, just by saying it apparently. But you guys, we have season 2 starting up this year. It's called Amazing Wildlife. It was a great first season, but I am officially now of season 2. So it's going to be Rick Schwartz and myself. There are 3 wildlife ambassadors to San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance. So Rick and myself, we're going to be rocking out season 2. I'm looking forward to all the episodes. So hopefully keep your ears tuned for our podcast in the future. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, of course. We're super excited to do this. It's going to be so much fun. I'm super, super stoked.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a super cool season. And I'm saying super a lot because it's Thursday and I'm out of words.
Super? That's fine. That's perfectly all
Awesome.
right.
Well, thank you guys all so much for joining us. Brian, Kirsten, great to have you on as always. And we will see you guys next Tuesday.
Awesome.
Woo woo.
Bye, guys.
Have a good
All
one.
right, thanks,
Bye, guys.
everyone.
Stay wild.
Okay, we're good.